Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here today representing the private sector perspective. I work for a company that owns and manages forest lands across the United States, Canada, Uruguay, and China, and we manufacture wood and fiber products. Over 1,000 years ago, the Vikings left safe harbors here in Denmark and raced to discover the world beyond their familiar seas. They sailed graceful ships, carefully hewn from wood. You can see these ships at the museum in Roskilde. Several of them are originals, having survived hundreds of years on the floor of the sea. Human history is marked by a race to discover the next greatest thing. Our efforts here this week are no different. Each of us has a stake on a favorite horse to be the winning choice in the race to reduce atmospheric greenhouse gases. Like the Vikings, we want to discover that next new thing. But reducing atmospheric greenhouse gases is not only about new technology, it's also about one that has been around for billions of years: photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the original green power. It is ready now, carbon capture and storage. And fortunately, it is a technology that offers many flexible options. Forestry options for reducing greenhouse gases range from the preservation of intact forests, avoiding deforestation and degradation, as we have talked about much today, and to sustainably manage working forests. In a preserved forest, trees sequester carbon and store carbon in the tree and in soils. But in a sustainably managed forest, the regenerated trees not only sequester and store carbon, but the products made from them store carbon for decades, or even longer, such as those graceful Viking sailing ships from 1,000 years ago, still storing carbon. In addition to reducing emissions from avoided deforestation, sustainable forest management, global forest area expansion, and the sustainable use of forest products are also meaningful and cost-effective climate mitigation. In the United States, our forests store carbon equal to 14% of our total emissions, which is nearly equal to the entire industrial sector emissions, and represent an increase in forest area from 100 years ago. Sustainable forest management can increase the carbon benefits from forests. In the Douglas fir forests of the United States Pacific Northwest, near my company's headquarters, the total carbon benefits of sustainable managed working forests are nearly 100 tons per hectare greater than the forest that is not harvested. Harvested wood products expand carbon storage options. Each year, over 100 billion tons of atmospheric carbon dioxide are stored in products that we use every day: chairs, tables, floors, products so ubiquitous we take them for granted. But forest products are not only renewable, recyclable, and provide carbon storage benefits. They require less fossil fuel to manufacture than non-wood product substitutes, and their manufacture provides important livelihoods in rural communities. The critical need to mitigate carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere demands that we find a way to encourage sustainable forest management and the use of forest products. If the economics for maintaining sustainable working forests stop working, we risk losing them. Were it not for private sector efforts to increase productivity of sustainably managed forests, our climate challenge today would be even greater. When the economics do work, forest area will grow. In North America and Europe, the forest area is stable or even increasing, which partially offsets the global decline in forest area, mostly due to the losses in the tropics. If not for afforestation, restoration of forests, and forest expansion, the rate of forest loss would be even greater. So as we develop policies, we must ensure that they recognize climate benefits from all forest types, as well as from forest products. Green building policies that discriminate against wood, prohibitions on harvesting, or uneconomic requirements imposed on owners of forests are simply wrong-headed and won't accomplish what we need. When we talk about saving a tree, we really mean save the forest, as on their own, trees will die and rot and re-emit the carbon previously absorbed. It is time to tap into the promise and power of all forest types. In our excitement about the innovative racehorse of new climate technology or new policy approaches, we should not exclude the workhorse, the technology that's already delivering on its promise long before the Vikings made their famous boats. If we hadn't already developed sustainable forestry and forest products, we'd be trying to invent them right now. Thank you very much.